Let me, if I can grab this one. I also teach at universities, and I thought that this one of all was kind of the pinnacle of PMI, of a certain trend and focus of PMI. I thought this was quite an achievement, accumulated over decades. I was very, very happy with the overall ambition of this. And I'd be interested to hear what your feedback was. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this is where there's a big transition in PMBOK thinking, and I think that's important for our viewers to be aware of. My issues with this one was lots of redundancies. I mean, I don't know how many times you're going to talk about beta distribution and triangular distribution. I mean, it was copy-paste all over the place. So different topics repeated like 15, 20. Expert knowledge and facilitating methodologies and parametric and analogous estimates. Once is good enough. So I often said you could basically, if you wanted to, you could boil this down to a certain extent. That was and the other issue that I had with this, I always told people this is a global bestseller, right? Read by millions of people in the world, translated into
downloaded by millions of people.
But that's another thing. Yeah, you're being accurate. Translated into, was it 19, 12? A lot of languages, right? A lot of languages. But this is what I would warn people when they prepare for the PMP, and you probably did something similar, is don't expect just because it's a bestseller that it reads like one.
Yeah. Except you are looking for something that puts you asleep easily.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Counting sheep or reading
it's like reading a catalog, kind of, right? Yeah. So that was my beef with this one. But I acknowledge the fact that this was accumulation of a lot, and we just kept on adding. We forgot this and we forgot this. And by the way, that's never going to stop. There's always something to add. So there was a big shift. You want to, from your perspective, say what that big transition was? Because it was a big transition from this one to the next one.
I mean, essentially, let's see, the 7th edition, which we have here, and you can probably see that one, this is much, but they cheated a little bit, let's call it what it is. This is a compendium to that one, it's a process guide. So all the process they took out here, essentially they moved to this one, and if you add these two, you're not that far away.
Yeah, so that was a workaround. It still has the pages, it's just split up into two different books.
Right.
And you can pick what you want to read.
Right.
Or not want to read.
So,
but again, the idea, and I think the idea behind it was fine. 6th edition, one of the things that was said over and over, this is the pinnacle as well of classic waterfall project management, processes to the extreme.
Good point.
And there were project managers that said, if I do all of this, only then my project will succeed. And then they go like, oh, it didn't. How come? Something is wrong here. That's not the point. So that was kind of the project management Bible. And I think as well, PMI acknowledged, hey, we've taken it a little bit too far. Let's switch courses, go to principles. And that is removed the processes, and this is principle driven, which is a very different point of view. I think the principle was a little bit brief here in the 6th edition. It started, and there was also acknowledgement we need to do something about Agile. Agile is mentioned here in the 6th edition, but not...
Well, you had that additional Agile, very thin practice guide, which was a nice start.
So they said,
it was a quick solution, but it wasn't really profound.
Right, and so they said, we can't put Scrum in here or something, but we need to take the principles, and we need to be much more principle-driven. That is the result, which is not bad. I want to be clear. It gets a lot of negative feedback. I think the principle part is good. That is my personal opinion that I'm expressing here, but in itself, it's not sufficient. I mean, it's fine for an experienced project or program manager to use this because you can put the principles in context. If I put myself in the shoes of a young project manager. I go like, okay, have a holistic point of view or whatever the other principles were. I go like, yeah, sounds good. It's like, but how? That is missing here, and that is as well hard to train then, and hard to be even certified. I fully get that one, and then you get to this companion work here, and I had as well these additional websites with the bite-sized thing that really
Standards Plus, yeah, because I think it's important to say that, because I mean the processes were not removed and gone; they were moved to a different place, and for some people it got out of sight. For me, it never did. But for some it did, and especially for people who jump into the topic for the first time, it was a bit out of sight. Yeah. And especially for those guys, I think it makes a lot of sense to reintegrate that. And of course, if it's in a single place, if it's a composition, it's understood to be integrated and not. Because you said before waterfall, I would not agree with you. I don't want to open the discussion between
you
waterfall.
may, of course.
Well, sure. I may. I mean, for me, it has always been all of that. Yeah. So to me, it's more a spectrum where you are. So say it's hybrid. It has ever been, and it never will stop being that. Yeah.
Are you saying that hybrid has always existed?
Yeah, and it's. I mean,
if you have common sense,
yes.
All projects have had agile or adaptive elements, and all agile projects also have predictive elements. This is, I think, for those of us who are really in the trenches of project management, we've always embraced agile thinking. We just were wondering why people treat it like it's a new religion.